science fans, and welcome to SHE-ensya. It's Maundy Thursday here in the Philippines, so we're launching our special Holy Week series, starting with Should We Go Meat Free? During the Lenten season, Catholics all over the world give up certain types of meat, which includes chicken, pork, and beef. However, a sector of society actually gives up meat throughout their lifetimes, and these include vegans and vegetarians. What is the impact of giving up meat in your health? And what is the scientific basis of actually doing this kind of practice? We delve into that in this SHE-ensya video. Veganism is the practice of abstaining from the use of animal products, particularly in diet, and an associated philosophy that rejects animals as a commodity. The primary reasons for people to become vegan includes cruelty to animals, the meat, egg, and dairy industry's damage to the planet, the risk of suffering from heart disease, diabetes, cancer, and other ailments, and the significant risk of contracting foodborne pathogens such as E. coli and Salmonella. If you've watched Cowspiracy, Food Inc., or Okja, you know that the primary argument of vegans against eating meat would be cruelty to animals. According to PETA, or the People for the Ethical Treatment of Animals, the food industry is one of the biggest exploiters of animals and is responsible for mass suffering and death. Nearly all the animals raised for food in America are separated from their families and crammed by the thousands into filthy warehouses where they spend their entire lives in filthy conditions. They're mutilated without the use of painkillers and deprived of everything that is natural and important to them. An alternative to these cruel practices would be halal. Halal is based in an Islam practice which emphasizes the sacredness of life. Islam places great emphasis in the way in which an animal's life ends, which has to be in accordance with Islamic regulations. If the life of an animal has to be ended for human survival, then its life should only be taken in the name of God. In order to do this, the name of God is said in order to emphasize the sanctity of life and that the animal is being killed for food with God's consent. It also includes other practices that ensures that when the animal is killed, it does not suffer unnecessarily. In this way, cruelty is minimized while recognizing the need for animals as food is present. A vegan lifestyle is also not necessarily cruelty-free. Forced labor, exploitation of workers, hazardous and extreme working conditions, lack of labor rights protecting agricultural workers, and extremely low wage are still very common problems in the food supply chains, even the eco-friendly ones. Agriculture is even responsible for 70% of child labor. Since 2012, the amount of kids working in the industry has increased by 10 million, reaching 108 million in total. And what about the Bolivians who can no longer afford their staple grain quinoa? The dramatic increase in its demand in the Western world made its price triple since 2006. Recent research on plant physiology has shown that many plants can perceive and communicate physical stimuli and damage in ways that are more sophisticated than previously thought. Recent research has shown that other plants are able to perceive and respond to mechanical stimuli at the cellular level. For example, Arabidopsis, or the mustard plant, sends out electrical signals from leaf to leaf when it is being eaten by caterpillars or aphids, signals that ramp up its chemical defenses against herbivory. And the same findings were found in a field of grass experiencing lawn mowing. This remarkable response is initiated by physical damage. The electrical warning signal, of course, is not equivalent to a pain signal in animals, but is still otherwise a clear response. Another clear criticism for eating meat is its negative effects on the environment. There is a huge body of discourse on this, but the evidence is pretty clear. It takes at least 5 times more natural resources to grow meat than it is to grow plants. Eating plants alone, however, is not entirely environmentally friendly. Many animals are actually killed and habitats destroyed to make arable crops. Pest control, even sustainable ones, often mean the death or displacement of animals and insects. There's also the environmental footprint of producing and importing food. In the end, we can only aim to reduce harm, but living a vegan lifestyle is not entirely cruelty free, nor is it environmentally friendly. Another criticism against eating meat is its negative health effects. According to the University of Texas, eating too much meat has been linked to cancer, diabetes, and heart disease. But it's not really about the presence of meat, but more of eating a large amount of it and in how you cook it. While no diet choice will guarantee that you won't develop cancer, lessening meat consumption can help you lower your cancer risk. The American Institute for Cancer Research states that at least two-thirds of your plate should be plant-based foods. That's in part because plant-based foods contain phytochemicals, the nutrients that your immune system needs to fight off diseases like cancer. Plant-based foods also contain more fiber, which can help lower your cancer risk. Fiber not only keeps you feeling full longer, but it helps you lower your cholesterol, stabilize your blood sugar levels, and manage your bowels. The consumption of animal meat has also been identified as a means to acquire diseases from bacteria and viruses. For example, Campylobacter is a bacterium that causes diarrhea, cramping, abdominal pain, and fever. In some cases, the diarrhea may end up being bloody and may be accompanied by nausea and vomiting. Clostridium perfringens is also another bacteria that causes diarrhea and abdominal cramps upon consumption of unwell cooked food within 6 to 24 hours. Eating plants, however, can also be a source for disease. Cyclospora cayetanensis is a single-cell parasite that causes watery diarrhea, weight loss, abdominal cramps, and fatigue. You can get this by consuming fresh produce harvested from tropical regions such as raspberries, basil, cilantro, snow peas, and certain varieties of lettuce. Listeria monocytogenes, on the other hand, is a bacteria that causes fever, muscle aches, diarrhea, and other gastrointestinal issues. In more severe cases, it can cause confusion, loss of balance, and convulsions in addition to fever and muscle aches. This can be acquired from eating raw fruits and vegetables. In the end, it's not about what you eat, but how well the food is prepared. Just make sure that food is washed properly before consumption and also that food is cooked well in high heat to make sure that all bacteria and viruses are destroyed before you eat it. Coming from a biology background, it is more natural for me to look at our evolution as an indication of what we should eat. Because of our capacity to cook our food, our teeth have evolved to become more similar to herbivores than to pure omnivores, but we have retained the teeth that are needed for tearing and slicing through meat. As for our digestive tracts, it remains distinctly different from the herbivore digestive system. The main difference between the two is that herbivores often have a longer digestive tract that have more compartments. A cow, for example, has 4 stomachs. Herbivores spend the better part of their day eating, swallowing, and regurgitating their food and chewing it again before final digestion. There are also essential nutrients that cannot be acquired from plants. One of these nutrients is vitamin B12. It is tightly involved in the formation of blood and the function of the brain. Deficiency usually results in anemia, impaired brain function, symptoms of mental disorder, and the smaller brain. There's also evidence linking vitamin B12 deficiency to Alzheimer's disease. And the only good food sources of B12 are animal foods like meat, fish, and eggs. In one study, a whopping 92% of vegans and 47% of lacto-ovo vegetarians were deficient in this critical brain nutrient. Although algae is a potential plant source of vitamin B12, it is not yet known if they can be effective at correcting B12 deficiency in humans at this point. Carnosine is a very important nutrient that you may never have heard of before. It is strictly found in animal tissues, and it is created out of two amino acids and is highly concentrated in both muscle tissue and brain. This substance is very protective against various degenerative processes in the body, as it is a potent antioxidant. For this reason, it is a very popular anti-aging supplement. Carnosine levels are significantly lower in patients with various brain disorders, including Parkinson's and Alzheimer's. DHA is an example of an omega-3 fatty acid. Low intakes of DHA can adversely affect various aspects of cognitive function and mental health, especially in children. It is also very important for women at the childbearing age because a woman's omega-3 status can have profound effects on the brain of the offspring. People who avoid animal products supplement with flaxseed oil instead, which is a great source of ALA, a plant form of omega-3. However, ALA needs to be converted to DHA for it to work. Studies show that this conversion process is notoriously ineffective in humans. For now, the best source of DHA is still fatty fish. I highly recommend for people who have chosen to avoid meat for ethical reasons to at least consider having a little bit of dairy, some egg, and even fatty fish in your diet. A little bit goes a long way. And for everybody, let us make a habit of choosing to source food from sustainable and ethical producers. Here in the Philippines, we have a lot of local farms, and going to your local palengke would certainly help your local economy as well as find animals and plants that were grown sustainably in smaller garden plots. So thank you very much for watching this video. If you want to have more science goodness from the SHE-ensya channel, please like this video and subscribe to our channel. If you have suggestions, comments, or questions, please don't hesitate to let me, your resident Filipino scientist, know in the comments section below. Again, thank you very much and see you around!